Sessions with Mary Jane. I'm Reena Ezra.
And I'm Jordan Freed. We are without our third humper, Brendan O'Brien, today, but our guest is definitely a special one today. Mm-hmm. So it makes up for our not having Brendan while he's in the woods of Maine today.
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Would you like to say our guest name?
Well, our guest is multi-talented. He is very funny. That's how I met him, through comedy. And then I saw his mixtaper EP, and he is also very musically talented.
And also, he can act.
Yeah, he can
He
also
acted.
act too. And
Yeah.
we're also in his bedroom recording this episode, and he has great artwork that he made.
And he was on our last short film.
Give it up for Talent Harris.
Hey.
Junior.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, even though you're in my home.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us.
Mutual have.
Thanks for the halves, you know.
It's
What's
a
up,
symbiotic
guys?
relationship. Just chilling.
It's just very good to be here. It's good to be back in Brooklyn and it's just seeing things alive. Like, we're up in Jersey, so we don't have like this kind of action. Like, we have like family action, but like it's not like young people and like weird shit
energy,
going on. Like,
yeah.
I definitely miss being in a place where weird shit can happen.
This area is very wild too.
I'm sure.
You see a couple of video game characters and shit.
Where did you grow up?
Long Island, New York.
Oh,
So
that's kind of convenient.
speaking of, yeah.
Because we actually have a challenge for you based off of that, because we know that you are also a musician and you rap pretty well. So just in the background of this episode, to guide the conversation a little bit, you're going to have to come up with some Long Island rappers.
That's easy.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, no, I
know.
do.
No, she was like, is he going to be able to come up with rappers if we just say rappers? And I was like, no, you have to narrow it down.
Yeah, I didn't mean.
There's so
I was
many
saying that if
rappers.
it's just rappers, that's very broad. Like, obviously, we have to narrow down the list. But again, you throughout the entire show, we're just gonna have as many as you want. You're gonna list as many that fills the length of this
Like,
podcast.
we'd obviously prefer canon, and like, if there's some weird shit that like we should know about as like people who are not from Long Island, like. My mom is from Long Island, but she's from like deeper Long Island.
All right,
are we talking the ties?
Are we talking like notable, or are you talking about just like people that I know?
Probably notable.
Oh, you mean
Notable for the official challenge,
Yeah.
but like we
Okay.
definitely want to hear about your experience
yes,
with music
that's
in
it.
Long
Yes.
Island.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot of Long Island.
And you can interrupt at any time. You can shout them out at any time. So
Okay.
people like to tackle the challenge, and everyone uses a different strategy.
Well, there's somebody from my town. I don't know if you ever heard of Keith Murray. Keith Murray. He's from Long Island. He was signed to Def Jam in the
Put it
90s.
on the list.
So you were in.
Yeah.
You were in Long Island for. When did you move out? Like, for how long? What age were you?
I left Long Island after 9th grade. 14? I was 14 years old. And then I moved to Westchester. It was really a punishment because I was starting to... I actually failed my first class ever. I used to be like an honors kid, and then I guess my mom... She was just afraid of me, just my life spiraling. So she sent me to live with my dad and shit. So that's when I lived with my dad in Westchester, Mount Vernon, New York. Went to high school, private school. My punishment was to go to old boys Catholic school.
Wow.
How was that?
I mean, I hated it at first, but it ended up I ended up meeting like lifelong friends.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You're still in touch with people.
Yeah.
From back.
Like, I'm going next month. I'm going to California with like 4 of my friends from high school. So.
Oh,
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh man. So how do you like Brooklyn? You moved here 2 years?
Last
More
year.
than that. Oh, only.
Not
it's
even
only
a year
been-
yet.
Wow.
August, I moved to Brooklyn.
Why do I feel like you've been here? Wow. So how do you like it? How is the?
I was in Jersey City before that.
Yes, Jersey City. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
I like it's close to everything. Like everything. So many shows around, mics. It's just always something going on in Brooklyn for comedy. and when there's something going on in the city, it's like 30 minutes away on the train. I don't drive, so
it's convenient. Yeah, it's nice.
For me, it's the perfect place.
We were just in a car accident, so we're
trying to avoid the cars.
You know, screw people. I'm just not. I'm not, especially Jersey drivers. But you mentioned, obviously we know you do comedy, you do stand up, but I personally don't know. What was your like aha moment, or like you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna do stand up, or was it some other form of comedy that led into that first?
I feel like it was just hanging out with friends and just laughing, like, cause the first time I actually did stand up was like, I've only been doing it seriously like for 3 years, past 3 years, but I did it for the first time 8 years ago. Like I was like the first time I did stand up, I was in Minneapolis or whatever, or maybe it was like hosting a mic or something at CW Post.
Whoa.
I think.
Wow.
This is maybe like hosting. It was like some like American Idol, some like like some fake American Idol thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like the host for that or whatever, and like I didn't really have any material. I was just hosting and just like. But the first time I actually like prepared material and like did it on stage was like 8 years ago. It went well, and then like the second time I did it, it was in San Francisco. I was on this like small tour for like something music related, and we just ended up getting this funded tour where we did 5 cities or whatever, and the leader of it, the project, he had known that I've been like thinking about doing comedy and stuff like that. Like, oh, you want to open up for like 8 minutes or whatever? Like not knowing like how long 8 minutes was. But it went well. First time, second time, not so well. I kind of got scared off from it, like, and didn't do it again until like 5 years later. But I don't know. It's just always been a personality trait of mine. I'm just always trying to make something funny. Like I'm making fun of anything all the time. Like,
so what's your process? Like you see something funny and you log that in the back of your head, or you write jots down? Are these like jokes, like one-liner jokes, or you do things in a story format?
I feel like a little bit of everything. Like sometimes you got a funny story, you'll start from there. Sometimes, most of the time, it'll be like something. I'm in a conversation with somebody and I say something that makes them laugh, and then I'll be like, okay, how can I put that in a joke form? Yeah. Set up, and then I'll end with the funny part, I've read a lot of different books on like just writing comedy that I think really helped me like figure out how to categorize just things that I've been doing like without knowing what it was called, and then figuring out how to just
like technically
just keep doing it and just taking all the words, taking the unnecessary words out.
Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier, you have a picture of, or your own picture of, because of course you're, like you said, multi-talented. You also make digital art of Richard Pryor on your wall. Is he the inspiration for you?
I wouldn't say but definitely one of them. He's one of, I definitely borrow from his,
Also, your
the
dad?
voices he does. Yeah, my dad.
I was gonna ask, because he was. What was it? Sorry, I interrupted you earlier. You said Richard Pryor's voice, like.
The voices he does, specifically when he does like his white people impression. That's very very influential on, I think, my style and stuff like that.
And your dad, when you went into stand-up, or whether you like told your dad or not, or just started doing it, what was your dad's reaction?
He was kind of like, oh, cool. Like, he was supportive, but
He's like, you're in competition.
Nah, he was. I actually sent him. I still have the video somewhere on my computer, but I remember I had recorded it and I sent it to him because I was like, yeah. I remember. I hate what I hate about watching the video back. Every time I said something that would get a laugh, I would say, "It's crazy." Yo, that's crazy.
I noticed that. It's funny that you say that because I noticed when I started watching your videos or then seeing your videos on social media, that's like something I just took note where I was like, he says that every time after.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's great. I'm like, yo.
I guess that's your line.
That's your tagline.
It's your tagline, yeah.
That's just something I've tried to cut out of my, like, the little fillers, you know, like, and...
I'm going to spend this whole quarantine so I don't have to say that.
But yeah, when I first started doing stand-up, well, my dad didn't tell me until, like, I got a year in. He was like, yeah, I wanted to make sure you get a year in before I really started, like, to help you. Because I wanted to make sure it's, like, something that you really want to do. Because he just knows how it could be. And it's like, people come in and they leave. You know, it's not really for the faint of heart. It's like... Because bombing is not fun, and you're gonna bomb a lot when you're trying to write jokes and figure out your voice and shit.
Is that like the advice you would give to somebody who's starting it now? I don't know. A lot of people also took interest in it coming out of the pandemic or coming out of the quarantine. People sitting in the hubs of their own room and just writing and just writing and writing and writing. Like you would be. Well, I'm going to just change directions for a bit. Was that one of your fears, like, was bombing, or did you have any fear when you went up there, or you just like, no, I'm just going to do it? I'm just going to, who gives a fuck, like?
I mean, it's always scary. Like, even, like, if I had a show tonight, I'll be nervous before I go up. It's always terrifying, but I don't know. I just felt like I had to do it, or if I didn't, like, pursue stand-up, like, I feel like I just want to be happy with my... You know, I would always have that in the back of my mind, like, I never even tried that, or... It's like... Because every time I would just watch stand-up, I just used to... I don't know, it's just a connection. I would just be like, yo, I feel like I just do that. I feel like I already just... I do this and when I'm just, like...
In life, just...
Talking to people.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm like...
So it would be a missing piece, like, if you didn't have
I had to... And honestly, it's been, I've never been, like, picked up something like this fast, you know what I mean? And been able to, like, just, I don't know.
Yeah, I know the first time I saw you, it was very good. I want to say it was like Yonkers Comedy Club, maybe? Is that possible?
Yeah, maybe.
Yonkers, it was one of those Westchester comedy clubs, and like, I had a god-awful set. They were not having me. But then you came on, and you had like a very, very good set, and like, I was like, I did not catch what your name was, and then...
Did we meet at Yonkers?
I don't know if I talked to you at it, to be honest. I think I just might have seen you. And then I think I booked you off of that. Yeah, I talked to Marcus. Marcus was on that show. He took me out there after we had a show in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then, yeah. Yeah, that was a good trip. Yeah, it was fun, because that was like one of the first nights that I was like, oh, this is like what the benefits of being in the tri-state area is. Yeah. Is like you could legit just do 2 shows in 2 very different towns and like very different audiences, and like be able to test out, is this joke actually good, or is this just something that I've been saying to the same people 100 times, you know?
Yeah, do you have any examples? And
you had been like a couple of years back in, like you were not experienced whatsoever, and I was you look like you've been doing it forever.
Yonkers, it's like Yonkers was like definitely like one of the first year in, probably, definitely.
Yeah. Wow. What did you pick up on or learn by when you like? Has there been like an example you can give where you tested material out in one room and it was a success, and then another room just did not respond to it well?
I mean, that happens all the time.
What were the 2 groups? What were the 2 various groups? What was
like, I could give you an example, like, of recently, because when our DMX passed away, I've been doing this DMX joke, and so I've done it in like hipster rooms, or where it's mostly, you know, young white people. It goes over well. It was very like maybe the day after he died, though. You know what I mean? So it's like fresh, it's like I'll do it here, it works. And then I did it like another room where it was like, it's like middle age, 40s, like older black people, Spanish people. So I did it, and it was just like, they just looked at me like, I climbed out of it. It's like, because the initial line that I do is like a one-liner. It's like, I'm like, I don't know if y'all know about DMX, man. DMX is the only rapper to drop 2 albums in 1 year and go platinum twice in 1 year on crack. The only rapper to ever do that. And that's the one-liner. It's like, I do it one place and it's like, big laugh. And then I did it another place. The black people, they're just like, nah.
You're like,
nah, that's not funny.
Have you thought about how one day you're gonna have to play the Apollo? Because like somebody said to me, they were just like, my one piece of advice is never play the Apollo. And I was like, I didn't know if that was a me advice or an every comic advice.
I would do it. I would do it just to say that I did it, but it's like, that's not going to be like, people go to the, when they're going to the Apollo, people get dressed, they're getting ready to boo. They're in the mirror, they're like, boo! Nah. Boo! Like they're trying, they came to boo. I
like that, getting dressed.
So it's like, anything like, they just you come out, they don't like your shirts, like, boo! I had one of my boys, Reggie Cush, or Reggie Edwards. He went up there, very funny comic, got booed off stage. He's from St. Louis though too, so it's like he talk real slow. So it's like they probably ain't give him a chance to even like get into his shit before he just started getting booed. So it's like, I do it for the experience, but I don't really hope,
Yeah. Have you made an album? You recorded any comedy material?
No, not comedy, but down the line, definitely.
And how many albums for music?
For music?
Yeah, full set, full collection that you've recorded.
I've recorded 3.
All on Spotify? People can access that?
Only one is on Spotify. Freak Butt by Talon Harris. You type the Talon Harris Freak Butt EP.
Freak Butt is very good.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Freak Butt.
Wait. Where are the other 2? Not ready to release?
You see one on SoundCloud. And wait, I might have made 3 albums? Yeah. But they're really old. It's like, I deleted like the older shit. And it's like, you might be able to find one on like Bandcamp or some shit. I don't even remember, but they're on my computer somewhere, on my iTunes.
So who do you pull from stylistically?
Music?
For music.
Shit, everybody. I say my shit is like, I really like old school boom bappy, like soulful music, soulful R&B. It's like,
if there's an artist you could collaborate with right now, who would it be? They have to be alive.
Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu for sure.
Where's she chilling at? Let's hook it up.
Where's she at? I don't know.
Where's she hiding out?
I think
Issa Rae, tell me. I'm talking about Google.
I think. Does your Google
my
really
Google
have
is Issa Rae's voice? Yeah.
That's
I wasn't joking. Okay, now I have to get her attention. Okay, Google.
No, we can't.
What's the weather? Oh, come on.
I wonder how do they do that? Like, how many vocal sessions did you have to go with?
Yeah, I don't.
It's a nice
okay,
check.
Google.
Is it SAG?
What day is it today?
Today is Tuesday.
See?
Wow.
She's right there.
She's
right there.
She's
right there.
They're like, the thing is, she has to come into the booth and they're like, all right, you gotta say every day of the week, she spent hours in this booth recording every single word in the dictionary just so they can program this and put it, no, I'm just kidding, they didn't do that.
I think she gets a check every time somebody, like, talks to her.
You know, probably not.
Yeah.
But she probably got a nice deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's fine.
I was gonna ask you, not to keep flip-flopping between comedy and music, but it feels natural.
Yeah, it's my,
It does,
that's
you know.
my life.
We're gonna keep you off balance.
They're
a little bit.
intertwined.
Yeah. I was gonna say, who do you think is like the comic who is like the comic right now, who is like challenging the game right now, like whether it's in Brooklyn that you see around or somebody you're seeing like on your radar, like kind of popping up, like you're like, oh, I kind of want to see what's up with them. Like, who do you think is like the right now comic? Because like I struggle with this when people ask me like who I like right now.
I
So
really
I'm curious
like.
who you really like.
Well, I really like Michael Che right now. I feel like he's about to. Because he just dropped his show too. Have you seen his sketch show?
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't yet.
Oh man, we might have to watch a few episodes before you guys go. It's so good. It's so good.
He's good.
Who else does he write with on that show?
He writes with.
Now I'm intrigued. I was probably gonna watch it anyway, but.
I think he writes with some people.
And that's on HBO, right?
He writes with some people from SNL. Sam J.
Oh, cool.
Fucking Matt Richards. I'm not sure if you guys know.
Who's in it? Who's also actors in the sketches?
It's a lot of like. Who the fuck is it?
Just look
It's
it up.
like just like really like people that you wouldn't recognize, but also like stand-ups, like New York stand-ups. A lot of them in there.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I don't think it would be
That's
people
sweet.
you guys would recognize, but definitely it's hilarious.
I have to watch it.
The topics are fucking. I don't know. I don't know if you have like ever watched Michael Che stand up.
I have. No, I like him. I feel like he has a very strong point of view that like it sticks. Like he does it like. I feel like he is not dated, which a lot of comics are dated.
Yeah.
Like he is an older comic.
I just feel like it's like he. I feel like he gets a big laugh with like very. It's no heavy lifting in his sets. I feel like it's just like. And it's like there's no extra words, and he just makes he talks about serious shit, and makes it silly too. I like that. Like it'll just like turn some serious shit into just talk about gentrification. And, talk about white women killed Biggie.
He said shit about Israel and Palestine like weeks ago, and people were up in arms about it.
yeah.
And now look what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's like people were up in arms about that
I
shit.
remember when
and
he
got mad at it.
did a little vaccine joke about Israel, and then he got anti-Semite.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
exactly.
It's
It's not, yeah. I do think that he is, yeah. He's definitely up there right now.
But yeah,
I feel like he needs that seminal special.
I know a kid that I don't think he's probably been doing comedy maybe as long as me. Doing a show around here somewhere. He just DM'd Michael Che, and then Michael Che just happened to answer like, "Yeah, I'll do the show. Fuck it." Like
Sweet.
what? I'm
What?
like,
Oh my god, that's so cool.
yeah, I think that show's like on the 28th or something. I'm going.
What?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Do you think he would be a good host, late night host, if Michael Che had had an opportunity, and then they get out of here, Jimmy Fallon, and then
He actually,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far, but I would say, yeah, I would say he definitely.
No, he's better than the Tonight Show. Anyway.
I feel like he
doesn't
wouldn't
need
want
to
to do something. So like I don't know. I feel like he's happy with the once a week thing. Or is that every night, Jimmy Fallon? It's once a week, Jimmy Fallon.
4 nights.
I thought it was every
4 nights?
yeah,
Yeah.
4
Or
nights.
5. Is he
I thought it
5?
was 5 nights. I thought it was Monday to Friday.
Yeah, no, he might be 5 nights a week. Yeah, that's a crazy ass job.
No, I'm gonna check.
But yeah, showbiz is so hard that if you get that job, like you can't really complain. Like it's just like you gotta show up and do it.
You make a bigger paycheck. I mean, he's probably living like he has a nice getting a nice paycheck now. But it is true, when you were just talking about scheduling, though, that's true, though, because his, like, probably the time you would take to do your creativity or your own stuff, like if he wanted to do his next stand-up special or whatever, the next sketch or whatever, like that would be, all of your time now would be to that late show.
Although,
so that would
like,
take up
those shows
time.
all shoot during the day. They're, like, very ideal. Like, SNL is legit, like, a psychopath show. Like, that is, like, not... Like, I don't even know how, like, labor rights activists haven't shut down SNL. Like, that's, like, not legal what they do. But, like, they're just doing it for the art, you know? And it's, like, fine. But, like, every other show is, like, normal. Like, you get off at, like, normal hours.
Would you do SNL?
Hell yeah, I'll do SNL. What am I?
He's keeping it on the wraps. He's already auditioning.
Nah.
He's keeping it on the
Yeah, do you have when you audition?
Characters ready?
Yeah, do you have your characters in your back pocket?
I don't, but I gotta get my white characters up. I got some black characters, so I gotta get the.
Oh, sorry.
I got a pretty good Rick Ross impression.
Rick Ross?
Yeah.
That would be a good one. I don't know if anybody has one on SNL, do they? Does Chris Red have one? He does a lot of hip hop.
They have to just give me the suit, you know.
I would watch that for sure. Yeah, that would be a good SNL audition. I'm like picturing myself watching the YouTube video now, just like.
And you know about the audition. It's like 5 minutes of stand up, and then they make you do impressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen?
You go in and out. You're quick.
Have you seen Will Ferrell's SNL audition?
I think I have.
Yeah, I think I have too.
It's like some shit he does when he's pretending to be a cat.
Yeah.
I think he does an impression of a cat.
He's also he's a. We were kind of spoiled with the cast that we got.
What, his class?
Yeah, and who else was that? Right, Kristen Wiig came after him, or were they around the same time? The cast that came after that, there were two that we were spoiled. I mean, I don't know. What do you think of the cast now? Because I like some. I did not watch it.
I watch like select episodes. It's like
I feel like New Yorkers don't watch SNL.
I feel like it's too long. Those sketches are way too long.
Oh my god. We have this conversation all the time. Yeah, no, I agree with you. They don't end.
It's like they have their moments, but then it's just like
they drag it out.
So much filler, and it's just.
No, it's.
I kind of like when they just laugh and they break. Those are my favorite parts. Like the episode when Chappelle was on was pretty funny. Did you guys watch the Elon Musk episode? It's so bad. but it was like that's what made it made it funny because he was bad. Yeah. It was like
it was better than I expected.
It makes you think he's not an evil genius because like he couldn't make people.
I hate the way he moves. Every time he's talking, he would just keep moving. Like
he does that with his head.
He just kept like. I'm like, yo, this guy's a fucking robot.
Yeah.
Yo, he's a robot. I think he's artificial intelligence. That's my conspiracy theory about him.
How do you feel about all of that stuff? The future, like artificial intelligence. Are you like about it, or are you trying to fight
scary
it?
As fuck.
Yeah, scary as fuck.
Have you heard about the fucking shit with Elon Musk? They're coming out with some
Neuralink.
Shit?
Yeah, they did it where they put a chip in the monkey's brain and he plays the game.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Also, someone's competing with the monkey now too, which
that doesn't make sense to me. They're gonna put something in your head that makes your brain more optimal.
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about?
But like, how is it possible that our brain can like remember all of the words that it remembers, but there's no like data written out? Like there must be data written out somewhere, we just can't interpret it. So that's what's like. Eventually, it should be that exact, right? Because like there should be like tiny particles that should be like, this is what is going through their head right now.
Yeah.
Yes, you can see all of this because they are seeing all of this.
I just can't fathom like you making something that works inside the human, like something artificial going with the biological. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, but they do it anyway with like when Dad had a heart attack and you put it's a metal plate, but you put a stent in, or you have. For biologically, there are a lot of people with artificial. What was the thing I just read recently? Where they're also making an artificial heart for people who don't have. Who can't get to the transplant fast enough. It buys them more time, basically. And then they're just making this thing. It's completely synthetic. It's only human made. They put it in, and it's functioning as it, normally it's for you to survive or do whatever. It's bizarre. I don't know. I
feel like shit like that is more practical.
But you don't like the neurological.
I just feel like they don't know I feel like they don't know shit about the brain.
There's so much they don't know. That is the scary part.
I feel like they just don't know shit about the brain,
Well, I'm not gonna be the person getting tested on.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel like, honestly,
you guys are too poor.
I feel like
they wouldn't test on. They would not test.
Shit, they won't test it on us.
For the right price, they would test it on us, because I would say yes, yeah. If they did pay me $1 million,
we'll just see it as an ad for mad money. I just have to sleep here for a few weeks.
$1 million to control the comedian's brain. What's the worst thing that can happen?
They'll go to you for that, but you're not rich enough to fly to Mars.
That Black Mirror shit is. You watch Black Mirror?
Oh yeah.
I have not. No.
What? You've never seen Black Mirror? Yes, we have.
Oh yeah, Black Mirror. Yeah. My bad.
The one where it's people are running back memories and shit.
Yes.
That would be so useful. What are you talking about? It did not happen like that. Yes, it did. When people
That's a
making
good idea.
shit up.
That would solve a lot of criminal cases that are not that were cold cases that have not. That would actually be very good. That'd be very helpful.
Is it really? Does it count as snitching if you just look at my memory?
If they forcefully do it.
Didn't even.
Also, how would you have? How do people get access to that? Where there's a whole thing. Your iPhone. You need your face.
It would probably have some
They're not allowed to go in.
It would have some Apple encryption.
They're able to hack your brain. That's going to be allowed. That you need to have rights. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Also, if your partner was able to hack your brain, and then now she knew what you were thinking about her, and then
that was that episode. They got the guy he kept thinking that his girl was cheating, and he looked at her memory, seen her getting piped in her memory. That's so fucking fucked up. Also, I don't want to it's too much. It's
that one and the video game one.
Pandoras Box, that was
the
fucking
video
weird.
game
That
one
was fucking weird.
It was insane. It made me uncomfortable.
Remember that one?
With Kurt Russell, his son or whatever his name was, where he played that guy, the blonde haired dude. Yeah, that was such a sad ending too. That was terrible. That was terrible.
Wait, you talking about the swiping vipers?
Was it?
Oh, you're talking about
the video game one where he's. Well, I don't want to spoil it because anyone.
Wait, you talking about the
Black Mirror?
You're talking about the pick your own adventure one?
Oh no.
Well, is that what it's called? Now I gotta look it up. I'll tell you.
You're talking about the pick your own adventure.
I'll tell you.
Or there might be a few.
There were multiple video game ones, so that's right. I didn't specify.
Are you a big gamer?
I am. I won't say big, but I like video games.
What do you play on?
Xbox, Call of Duty, 2K. Used to be a lot of Grand Theft Auto online.
Playtest.
I was trying to get the streaming thing going, but my Wi-Fi is not too strong. Man.
That's the episode in Black Mirror. It's called Playtest. Now you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, wow. Wi-Fi is a crazy thing. You don't even realize how much Wi-Fi it takes for things until you, really realize how many pixels are in every image and how much data each pixel takes up, and then you're like, oh, yeah, wow, that's, just going all around us at all times. I think
causing
people
cancer and shit, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about cancer, but, maybe cancer, but
everything
I feel like
cancer.
I feel like I think that's probably why everybody's just stressed all the time. Is because all these electronic signals are passing through our brain, and I think there's
it's why am I so fucking anxious? It's Wi-Fi, Bluetooth.
Surging through your body. That sounds like a fucked up superhero. He's just all the time. His name's Bluetooth, or he's what? Or he's hotspot. He's a hotspot. Harry the hotspot, or whatever.
Bandwidth boy.
he just has lines of code. Oh.
I went to Ireland 6 or 7 years ago, and they had such good Wi-Fi on their buses, and like I feel like America still does not have any Wi-Fi on any of their public transit that works.
It's terrible.
It's so bad.
It's not good.
Like
Also, it's not that hard.
The
They're so advanced. They're able to get an actual good network underground. I'm surprised they haven't been able to yet. Like they've been like it's.
I feel like our subways are shitty.
They're very bad. I feel like they're purposely not making them good because people will make too much money.
Because they want people to be miserable. Yeah, I think they're like keeping people at a lower tier.
Well, did they fix it while COVID was going on and they closed it?
Well, they put a bunch of those new things, the new for your Metro card when you swipe in whatever on your phone. They did that, but they couldn't fix.
That is pretty dystopian. How you could just like charge your phone, like charge your Metro card with your phone, basically. Just that's your ticket.
Your phone is your life now. Your phone is your
legit.
life. Everything's on your phone.
I could travel anywhere in America just by using my phone and like have nothing else. Like I could just be a smelly man who just goes around America and spends my last money. Maybe I should do it. Do you have any Long Island rappers that you'd like to throw in the mix?
Long Island rappers.
You got one.
I think Eric Sermon. I think Eric Sermon's from let me make sure.
Yep, that's right. No, I'm sorry, Talon, but you're not allowed to use your phone.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh yeah, we just we gotta make sure we can't
I
talk
didn't
your
even
shit
do the
too
bit.
high.
I usually do a bit about throwing the phone out the window or something.
Wow.
But you got to keep your phone. Yeah.
But you're right, that's true. You got.
It's weird because like we're in your space, so I can't just like steal your phone and like hide it somewhere.
We don't do that to our guests.
Yeah, I haven't been on my phone. I don't need my phone.
Usually I put up a firewall. Yeah, I'm pretty addicted to my phone. It's pretty hard for me to not be on my phone.
Yeah, how addicted are you to yours, Talon?
Pretty as much as everyone my age. I don't know. Sometimes I find myself just scrolling through the same shit twice, 3, 4 times. Like, it's bad. But I try to read and shit.
What are you reading now?
What am I reading? I'm finishing this book about cats. Taking care of cats.
That's adorable. That's such a good.
What a good father.
Yeah,
I want to give you a round of applause for holding the bowl right now. So
but when he has a kid, he's not gonna read those kid books. Just for his cat, but for how to raise a child,
I'll go on YouTube for the kid. And I'm also in the middle of like another like screenwriting book.
Ooh.
I think it's called Story.
Have you done a lot of screenwriting?
Have I done a lot?
Yeah, like you've got some shorts in your like short films.
I'm working on like
episodes.
I'm working on a little web series, like with like episodes and stuff.
Nice.
But only experience I have is like doing like comedy sketches, collaborating with whatever you see me post on like Instagram.
Yeah.
What part of your life do you think is the most like cinematic? Like what, as you were living it, like what made you think like this is a movie? I gotta put this out there.
I mean, not really like.
Not that you put out your own life, but like what like I don't know. What is the inspiration to get you into film? Is it just like you do all the other stuff and that's the completion?
I don't know. I feel like it's like more of like a resume thing. Like I want to like instead of auditioning and stuff, I want to like have something to like just like
create your own content.
To send somebody like, oh, this is what I'm capable of. To give me like a job, get me in the door somewhere else.
You're building your own portfolio.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
A little resume.
Well, I've seen the stuff that you put on like YouTube and like the self-release stuff that you and like your group of comics have been putting out.
Yeah.
And it's very inspiring. Like it's very cool. Like I feel like you guys can just put out a show and people would watch it. Like,
I agree.
Brooklyn's definitely the place to be also to like get on people's radar and like attract a bunch of people to keep watching it so that you can keep putting it up and just keep perfecting it.
Yeah.
It's also just production level. Like, you have a bunch, you're uploading separately, randomly, but now it's just like, okay, now piece it together, like you're saying, as a series, a web series, and now it's like, okay, do a narrative, and people see what you can do with a narrative, as opposed to a bunch of random sketches in a line. But you see, like, a lot of people doing that. We were talking about HBO, where when they had a Black Lady sketch show, there was a very common theme where they had a bunch of people with sketches now figuring out ways to make each sketch connected, and then it's in, like, this whole big, I don't know, story, but there's a bunch of, like, random characters within, but then they'll have, you know, that's what is funny. That just made me think of when I was, like, we were looking up news for our other podcast or whatever, but the first thing when I saw on my phone, the first thing when they said Michael Shea was doing a sketch show on HBO, but it wasn't released yet. There was just, like, information dropping out about it, and then HBO already has a Black Lady sketch show, and then Jordan was just like, oh, what is it, a Black man sketch show? I'm sorry, I don't know, that took me so long to get to that. That took me so long to get to that punchline, but it was just like that.
That's a very long time ago. Yeah.
That just popped in my head, I don't know what it is.
Nah, that's what's dope about his show, the way he seams all the sketches together.
Yeah, it's like polished. You have things that are, you know, I don't know, everything. And you do anything now when they have, like, a bunch of, you know, I don't know how much you're on TikTok. I'm stopped myself.
I definitely had my little I had one of my TikToks did
constant.
One of my TikToks did like 1 million views. Like
Yes.
I put up one of the news clips.
I meant,
It was like a joke about Lil Yachty.
How constant are you with that? Like, how much do you have to? Because some people do it.
I'm very like I haven't done it in like months.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's good. You have your sanity.
Also, the news just got super fucked up once people started going out in public. Like, it was a different type of fucked up.
Going out of the pandemic. What do you mean?
Like, there was, like, the COVID news that was, like, fucked up, but it was like, oh, if it wasn't COVID news, everything else was kind of happy because people were trying to band together. But, like, now that everybody's back in public, it's like everybody's doing crazy shit. Like, everybody's getting into car accidents. Everybody's, like, getting murdered. Everybody's, like, going missing. Like, it's just, like, everybody's out. Like, there's just so many people out in the world and, like, going. And then, like,
I don't know. I feel
that's
like
just America.
Shit's been
like,
bad
other
for
parts.
A long time.
It's spreading.
For always. For forever. I don't think there's ever been a...
America sells trauma daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People eat it up. Like, I don't think that'll ever stop.
Yeah.
Also, people like conflict. People do like conflict.
Yeah. So I like to do some comedy shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Gotta lighten the mood all the time.
Yeah. It is really nice to be back to comedy. And it feels like now we're finally at a time where comedy can happen and, like, be accepted. Like, there were some times during COVID where it felt like you can't do comedy.
Where it's not funny, right?
Yeah, because you're just like, wow, I feel like an asshole just, like, trying to be, like, a funny guy up here. Like, people are just so sad. Like,
yeah. Did you do any virtual stuff?
I did. I started my podcast doing it virtually. I was doing it over the computer, but I'm good.
Is your podcast name? For the people out there. You're still doing your podcast, right?
I stopped, but I'm gonna bring it back. Friends with Talent Show. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just interview people that got stuff going on for 30 minutes.
you have pretty good access being here. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Also, you have a very good tone of voice.
Yeah, a little radio voice,
Your voice
right?
is very good, yes.
Yeah,
it's very yes.
Midnight tunes.
Yeah, we have good ambient noise here too.
Yeah.
Brooklyn birds.
Okay. This is your nature soundtrack. City soundtrack.
So, what should everybody be looking out for with you in the future? Do you got some shows coming up that are like the big ones that we should point people towards?
I guess the biggest show that I have going on right now is the weekly show at Bowery. I always fuck up saying it. Bowery Electric, Lower East Side. We did every Wednesday. Me and my boy Julio Diaz, Luis Galilei. Every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Different lineup. every Wednesday. Hopefully, it becomes a big thing in the city. You know what I mean? We get a newspaper article written about us.
Yeah, you gotta find those press people and get them in there. It's like so weird. Like all of a sudden, like you just see somebody get an article, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wow, everybody's just going to these shows all the time, and then everybody's just at this place.
It's publicity. Everything's just exposure.
100%.
It's all publicity.
Make the break.
Otherwise, how are people gonna find out about you? How are they gonna know?
Yeah.
I don't know how are they gonna know? Even shit that's over like things that are public out there or just like get too much attention that probably shouldn't be because they're not as funny. I don't know. Nothing specific comes to mind, but I just like see stuff where I'm just like, why is this on such a big platform? I'm like, it's not even good. And then you have underground stuff that like, you know, like people, I don't know, locally that you know that you're just like, this person at least is good. And they don't have, you know, like, you know, when's it, but I guess it's patience. Patience is a virtue.
That's what sucks. It's like notoriety doesn't come with skills. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is some of the weirdest unsolicited comedy advice you've gotten?
I don't know, just people just giving me jokes, I guess. Or like, yo.
Wait, what do you think?
Like,
they come up to you after a show, or just randomly?
Just like, sometimes people will just be like, yo, that's just mad funny what you said, but yo, you know what you should say with it? Like, some shit like okay. It's like, some people are at least respectful, like, yo, you mind if I tell you? And like, people will suggest something. It's different when you suggest, but it's just like, other people just be like, yo, you know, you should, like, yo, what are you talking about? That has nothing to do with the premise of my joke. But yo, it would be funny if you, and then you jumped on the table. Like, no. I don't remember anything specific, but I could just recall just different times when people always think that they're great writers. I don't know.
What was like low key your like best gig, favorite gig, surprise gig that you've like done? Like what was a show that like really sticks out?
I don't know, maybe the first time I did Caroline's, it was like a Father's Day show with my dad. That show really sticks out because like I feel like it was like a lot of people there. It was probably like 300 people in the room. I'm maybe like not even a year in yet, but it had a great set. You know, it's definitely a moment where I felt like, yo, I could really do this.
Yeah,
at a high level.
Where would you tour next? What place do you want to hit up?
I definitely want to go to Atlanta. Heard about comedy down there, Florida, Texas. Really hearing good things about Austin. So
New Orleans always has some good indie shows.
I'm gonna be in Cali next month. It's not really a tour thing. It's really just a vacation. But I wanna see if I can finesse some type of stage time. You know, open mics.
Yeah.
We got any LA people out there?
Yeah.
Listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Shot me a
talent. Yeah. we might be bi-coastal. We don't know.
You never know.
We'll check the views on the analytics.
Yeah.
Listens. Yeah. What part of LA are you staying in?
I think like I don't know.
Cool.
Close to LAX.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Hollywood Hills.
I want to get there.
I think close to the Hollywood Hills, like something like that.
I don't know.
By the Hollywood
like a
sign, not too far from the Hollywood sign.
I don't know. We're deep in the podcast for me to be small talking.
I don't know.
You gotta be talking about the meeting.
So you got Pfizer or Moderna? Where you? Small talk.
So where you at? I said I don't know.
Motorcycle on the sidewalk. It's like shit.
Yeah, that was the second motorcycle on the sidewalk. Unless it was the same guy. I don't know.
Nah, there's plenty of motorcycles on the sidewalk.
What have you noticed about how comedy has been evolving that you don't like?
Let's get negative on them.
Ooh.
Because there's a new wave. There's a new wave every generation where new people try to do stand-up, new people making shows, writing sketches, again, doing whatever. And, like, obviously, this past year and a half has been a complete shift. So, but what that you're not about. Unless you're about everything. Unless everything's peachy.
I don't know. It's like, I don't know, maybe people just being blatantly racist and trying to pass it as comedy. I don't know. Not being creative. Because, like, something happened recently with, like,
We can talk about it. I don't know if she's seen anything about this.
What?
the Tony Hinchcliffe?
Yeah. I've seen.
Wait, can you explain this?
Well, some guy who brought him up, who happened to be Asian, right after he brings him on stage, he calls him the Asian slur.
Yeah.
When was this?
Like a week or two ago, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's 2021. I don't understand how people still do.
Who the fuck knows when it was from? But
it's like it's not even a joke or anything. It's just like, hey, this fucking, you know.
And
it was
he just
like,
called him that?
I don't know.
But this is, I don't know. He's just
But
the
he
guy
thought
who
he was
does
being humorous.
the Kill Tony show.
I mean, people laughed, but
Yeah.
I just, you know.
But it is like a lot of like comics like bow down to him kind of a thing. Like it's just like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. Like I need to go be on the Kill Tony show so my career can make it. And it's just like this is
Those
the
are
guy
probably a bunch
who
of
runs that
wannabe
show.
comics.
Yeah. And it's like that's such a weird thing, and that's I think why he got like roasted online and shit like that. And
just-
like rightfully so, because like he is. Yeah, it was just like not funny and just like.
It's just unnecessary.
It's
Like, I don't know what they're achieving. I don't, like, I punch up. I don't know. Like, when you do improv, when you write sketch too, it's like, punch up. Like, what are you doing punching down at somebody and, like, thinking this is, like, it just never, like, you know, random people we go up, we see go up on stage and then they, like, you know, decline that the Holocaust exists, or people saying like just random stuff to do shock factor. Like I also don't get
shock
that.
factor is like people saying just like crazy shit and like passing it off as like writing. I don't know. It's not. It's just.
They probably don't.
It's just.
They probably don't even work on writing a lot.
It's cheap.
Yeah, it is cheap. It's a low blow. It's not. How much time do you spend? I know we were talking about it earlier, but for writing, because I also don't get this either, but some people don't think. Well, I guess everyone's process is different, but some people don't really think they have to work on joke writing. That they're like, oh, I can just play with the audience and
I feel like
work out the kinks every time.
Nah, I feel like you gotta do both. It's like I write, but I never perform word for word. It's like the writing is, I write it to
It's your outline.
It's a placeholder.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then it's like you gotta always leave room for like just your intuition in between, because it's like you're gonna come up with some shit. The funniest shit that I come up with is like something that I thought of when I was like,
so it's
like, you know, you find those little tags and little add-ons and.
Have you ever had an instance where you were talking to the crowd or the audience and it was just like just some dick or somebody was just not. Yeah, there you go. That's that's like I'm just like, of course. I just feel like such an idiot when I'm trying to come up with a word. I'm like, oh yeah, thanks, give it a word already. That's what it's called. Thank you, Talon. Yes, heckler. Yeah, you're a heckler story with somebody. You're just trying to, but also you're interacting with the audience because the audience is part of your show. Like that's the thing too.
It's weird. It's because like sometimes. A lot of the times you'll get a heckler, it won't even be like on purpose. You know what I mean? They really think that they are helping out the show.
Yeah.
Or they, or they are just really
enthusiastic.
They really resonate. You might be talking about something like, yeah, I fucking hate my voice too. Like, or something like,
people have unresolved trauma that, like, you're talking about on stage, and, like, they're like, wait, like, I need to talk about this. Like, I've never talked about this with anybody, but this comedian
so
is
they
the first
turn it
person.
into a therapy session.
They just thinking it's like, it's a back and forth. I've also just had, drunk guy. Just one time I was performing somewhere in Brooklyn. This drunk lady, middle-aged black woman. I finished one joke and then she just like, tell that joke about when you slipped on the banana peel. I'm like, what? She's like, tell that joke when you slipped on. I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this a cartoon to you? Whoever slipped on the banana peel?
Is that someone else's set? She's like,
I don't know.
taking it for
I don't know. She just thought it was like, I don't know.
she goes, that's hilarious. How drunk was that lady?
I guess she thought I was like a clown or something. I don't know.
That's so funny.
Somebody was like, yo, nah, get out of it, auntie, get out.
How many times did she ask to say that? Like, how aggressive was she?
It was very fun. It's really stopped everything. I'm like, what?
In the middle of your show?
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Nobody slips on banana peels in real life.
Well, if Brendan were here, you'd argue he had a friend who actually saw someone slip on a banana peel in real life. Actually happened. So I'm sorry, but that woman has. It's happened. It's real. It's not just cartoons.
Wow.
Is it the way
Those
like,
cartoons are so offensive. Could be happy times.
It could be the force, the velocity they're going at, minus the gravity when they
I feel like
slip
it's,
their butt. I don't,
it has to be a well-placed banana peel.
It does, yeah. I think it has to be. It's got to be slippery.
I'm thinking
It's gonna be yellow. It's gotta be yellow down. Like if it's opened, I think the inside of it's gotta face up because the bottom is more for that traction. And then when you
mean the inside?
The inside has to face up. So because when that's the thing that's rubbing against the sidewalk or the ground, the outside is shiny.
I'm thinking more like in a kitchen floor.
No, this was outside when this person slipped on a banana.
They turned it into a Healy.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there. It's just those fairy tales passed down. I have stories. Anyway, sorry. You're looking at me.
Not that many. People do probably slip on banana peels, but not that many to
have a joke about it.
Not that many for it to resonate with a room full of people.
That's so funny.
Yeah, hecklers.
Do you have any more rappers? Just checking in.
Rappers from
Long Island.
I think Method Man is from Long Island.
Yeah.
They don't be repping it though.
Yeah.
There's a few.
There's somebody who you haven't listed.
There's a lot of people.
No, well, there's one that in particular I'm thinking of, just because current events that you have not listed that I actually thought you would have listed already.
You've lived kind of everywhere.
Wait, you said.
How do you feel that influences your art?
Who'd you just say?
I feel like it does a lot. I get a lot of different perspectives. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've met a lot of different type of people growing up, so I've always had like a nice little melting pot of different cultures, and I feel like it helps me be more open-minded to just a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the rapper you said?
Busta Rhymes.
Is it really Long Island?
I'm trying to think what rapper you're thinking of from Long Island. Did I say Rakim?
No, but that is.
No, you didn't say it, but yeah, I'll write that down.
Rakim. Oh.
Yeah, this is good because like we have a production assistant who comes through and keeps tallies of everybody's point total. So it would have been embarrassing if you get the lowest number.
He grew up in Brooklyn, but his family did move to Long Island. Yeah, at age 12. That counts, yeah. No, he was a lot younger,
MF Doom.
Yeah, that's it.
Damn, that was sad.
Was that, did that hit you somewhat hard, pretty hard when he passed?
I don't know. I wasn't really. I don't know. Felt peace for him. I felt like it was sudden though. It just like I don't know. I wasn't expecting. Even though he had health issues, but he was that mysterious guy. So it was like you didn't really get too much from him.
True.
Yeah, there's a lot in his music, and he has a lot of albums. So it's like there's a lot to listen to and go back to. Yeah.
He definitely left a legacy. Like he left a Bible full of stuff. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of material. That's a lot of material. Even for how old he was, I don't know. That's just like like obviously he threw himself into it, but that's just so much.
Little Peep.
Yeah.
You want me to check or you know for sure?
I know he's from Long Island.
Yeah, no, 100%. He repped it. He repped Long Beach. Yeah, my uncle used to live in Long Beach. Had some issues with the Long Beach Police Department.
Little Peep?
No, my uncle.
Your uncle.
had to take care of his dog for a little bit. Yeah.
I've never been, but.
What artist passed that did hit you hard, or what one was like? Because who was I don't know. Like my mom would always talk about, or when she heard on the radio, Farley. Chris Farley, thank you. That he passed, like that was one where she's like, oh my god, totally expected. She wasn't like surprised at all. She's just like, wow, I knew he was gonna fall out. But like, what artist shocked you when you found out they passed in the news and you're like, oh my god?
Probably Mac Miller and Capital Steez. Capital Steez.
Definitely Kobe for me. Oh wait, we're talking artists.
No, it could be any. No. I'll count that. Any celebrity. We could do that because that one was.
He's a filmmaker, I guess. That was just very shocking because it just came out of nowhere.
Stop! Don't nobody go on choppers anymore. Why do people still ride on helicopters?
I wasn't when Nipsey Hussle passed. I wasn't a really big fan, but I don't know why. But it really was very sad. I don't know. I just felt like I don't know, just from interviews of watching him, and I don't know. It just didn't. It just I don't know. He just seemed like he was really a good dude.
He was making the Dr. Sebi documentary.
Yeah.
About the alkaline guy. Yeah.
Yeah, they killed him, man.
Yeah, that was definitely. we don't need the government coming to our pump house, but yeah.
That'd be cool. I'd be like, oh, you take interest? Yeah. You listening to our podcast?
Google, stop listening.
Off the record, Google.
Issa Rae is a CIA agent.
She's listening. She's here.
So
oh, God. I have to worry about that shit now. I hate it. Like.
What?
Just being around like people like Weedman, like I feel like there are probably CIA people around.
Do you think he's ever been bugged?
There's definitely somebody watching him.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't just like do that and not be like, yeah.
But over what? I don't know. I just find it so silly that.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they have better.
What is he? But he's not doing anything harmful.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I just think people fuck with him.
They just surveil you to make sure you don't get too much power or following.
Yeah,
shit.
so you don't get
like
too
if
much
I was a comedian who was actually good and people were following me and I was saying some crazy shit, they would be like, "Sir, you need to stop doing shows." Like,
start pushing a message.
Like if you start talking about like magic mushrooms, like in a heavier way, and then people start doing them on a regular basis, and then people start like thinking for themselves more. And then,
they're experimenting with them. They're testing them for Alzheimer's and other disorders and psychology. They're doing. They're actually trying to push it forward, which is interesting.
I recommend the mushrooms for everyone.
And people are microdosing too. That's the thing.
Even
People
a little
are
bit.
doing
You
more.
don't have to fucking do 5 grams of mushrooms. Just eat a mushroom cap.
Jordan, you hear that? Did you hear that, Jordan?
Yeah.
Don't.
I had 4 grams instead of the 3.5.
You didn't have a good time?
No,
I went
it's the first
into
time
the
he
infinite death
tripped
loop.
that we were in New
That's
Paltz.
a lot for the first
and
one.
we both took some.
Second time taking
so
shrooms though, so
I was
like fine with it.
I was not in a condition to babysit because I was also in my own world, but no, Jordan
We did go to Wonkaland a
had
little bit.
that.
And like the
Oh my
flowers were
God.
talking to
You ever
us.
seen
Really?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
I want to feel that.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No.
I did think I was gonna end
What's the
up
name of the movie?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Is
About
that
a
about
bunch of psychotic patients. Yeah.
That's
I
Princess
mean-
Ballet?
That's how I thought. I
No,
thought I was
no,
gonna end up
wait.
in-
No, we
yeah.
have to clear this up for people who are listening. No. Okay.
No, this is real. This is how I felt though.
But have you ever done shrooms before?
Yeah.
Okay, no, he was
Many
just
times.
having a bad.
Oh yeah, no, I was just having a bad trip.
That's
I
the
was
thing
fine.
is,
Yeah.
have you ever
that's
had a
my
bad trip?
disclaimer.
I don't think I've ever had a bad
So
trip. Maybe for a few moments, but I've
But you were able to get
always-
yourself out of it? Yeah, so that's the thing. He was stuck in a loop. Like, there wasn't... When I would talk to him, he could hear my voice, but he said he couldn't see me. He was not... Like, he thought one dude that was helping us, Steve, wasn't real. He thought, like... He
was like,
started...
yeah,
okay, also...
he was like, yeah, I've done peyote before. I was like, oh yeah, of course this guy's fake. He's talking to me about peyote. He's just the guy who talks to me before I die.
I'm trying to get us back to our cottage, and Jordan's over here. He's like all of a sudden walking all the way down, like I don't know where he went, and then I call him to. He turns around, looks at me, and then start bolting. He starts just running like he's running himself out of hell, and I'm like, we just have to go back to our cottage. He was in a completely different headspace. So I'm just saying, people, just know how much you take, and don't do it near a busy, road like cars.
There's
Like
a lot of
don't.
heavy metal.
Oh, hell no, don't do it by no.
That's
highway.
why that increases your anxiety, and we've done shrooms before.
Should
Like,
do it in a field in Long
Yes.
Island.
Yeah, the next
Yes,
time will be
we're
a festival.
nice out.
We will be chill.
Oh, you haven't done it since?
Well, this was just recently. This was
was
the
a-
last.
this
This was yesterday.
it was a couple weeks ago, but no, I'm waiting, giving it some time before I do it again. Also, I threw up because mushrooms is a fungus, people. So it's
Yeah,
not.
it's food poisoning.
It's exactly. So it happens.
She's tiny. I'm tiny. We should have both taken fewer.
First time I did mushrooms, I only did like a half eighth.
I think that was we had the first time was in chocolate cups form. This was actual dried mushrooms in a bag.
Yeah.
So I like the chocolate cups, but we did. I think we were just dosing ourselves throughout the day too. So you had like a nice consistent high. But yeah, that was also that we did that in Rutherford. That was like really gorgeous. Going outside and just it's just very nice.
One time I did an eighth to the face, and I was by myself. It was one of my birthdays, and I was listening to fucking Pink Floyd, Far Side of the Moon, I think it's called. I was listening to that, and I was watching TV, and then like a fast food commercial came on, and it made me like so fucking sick. I don't know, and like the sounds from the album started to freak me out. So then I had to go outside, and then I was cool once I went outside.
Yeah, you have to change up your scenery. You can't really
can't
sit
be
in the same
inside.
room for that
you
long.
need sunlight.
You gotta walk around. You can't look at the same shifting patterns forever. Also, music. It's funny that you mentioned that one from Pink Floyd, because I was like, I don't know. I was thinking, I was like, was that that definitely did not seem. I don't know. That seemed a little bit anxious to me. For me, it doesn't seem super enjoyable.
Yeah,
I mean, the songs are good, just like the in between, like the transitions are creepy.
Yeah.
It like just clicked with me that like the Grateful Dead is like more of a mushrooms band than a weed band. because like I've just not done mushrooms enough. But then
They're
it just all of a
more-
sudden like I was
they're
listening
not-
to Grateful Dead in
feel
my
like
head.
They're more acid. They're more
It is
acid. Not
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Not
Just,
really
yeah.
mushrooms, but yeah, they did like.
Hallucinogenics more.
Yeah, no, they're definitely more.
I like mushrooms more than acid.
Yeah, acid just lasts longer.
It's exhausting.
Acid's
exhausting.
just such an investment. It's such a full fucking day. It's so like.
exhausting.
It's like 12 to 14 hours is what it feels like. And also 1 hour feels like, or 10 minutes feels like fucking 5 hours. Like I would just sleep so much the next day. Like your body just has to recover. Yeah, that's a
mushrooms,
lot.
I feel like there's no hangover from mushrooms. You might feel a little, spacey the next day, but...
I don't think I really get bad hangovers with anything other than alcohol. Actually, there's no, like Molly, you don't get anything. Molly's great. You ever done Molly?
I did, but it didn't really do anything for me. I did...
How high were you? Did you like smoke a lot of weed beforehand?
I might have. I was smoking like
So
during.
then, yeah, so it cancels it out. It's not going to take effect if you, because Molly's a high and weed is a downer.
But then I did 2 ecstasy pills the next day, and that was the best experience of my life.
Is this a music festival?
2?
No, it was just no Poconos.
Oh,
I was in a Poconos fucking at a fucking Will Smith party.
Wait, with who? Where did you go by yourself or you were with somebody?
So it was like somebody that I'm dating right now, and her friends. One of her friends had it was her birthday, so it was a bunch of her friends came, and it was like everybody dressed up as a Will Smith character.
That's
And
amazing.
then,
That's
like,
so awesome.
We're playing like Pong, fucking karaoke.
Any character from any movie? Any Will Smith character?
Any TV show. Like, there were like
What a great
3 people that were the sunflower from Fresh Prince. I was...
Were they also on ecstasy?
Yeah, everybody was like on something. So yeah, it was fun.
Wow, a lot of Will Smiths loving each other.
I was fucking Hancock. The bum. All I had to do was dress like a homeless man and put some glasses on.
yeah, I was gonna ask if you wore a suit and you were just the concussion doctor.
Tell the truth.
That kid went quickly, but then like 40 years later, people are gonna be like, "Wow, that was a really great movie."
That was really
I wish people
profound.
talked about the concussion issue.
Once everybody once they dismantle the NFL, like, wow, this movie was historically profound.
Yeah. You could just defund youth football, and then you won't have any issues of violence in society anymore. Just no more cops, just like being crazy.
Imagine they type police brutality with like high school football.
I wouldn't be surprised. Crazy motherfuckers play high
They
school
got a lot
football.
of
and,
aggression,
like,
yeah.
I would put my head down, not knowing how to tackle, and like fucking like spear somebody. They'd put me on like the defensive line and just be like, go at him, do it, fuck it.
You small 5'8"?
Oh yeah, I was 5'6"
You'd be crushed.
back then.
You'd be crushed.
No, well, people were still small. I didn't play varsity. Yeah. I did play Division I football, or football for a Division I team. Tulane's team.
Tulane, yeah.
I worked for their team as an equipment manager. So sometimes I would have to help out with drills. Like, there's one coach who was just like, "Oh, you're a coach now. Come on, get in here." And I'm like, "Nah,
come on, you're promoted."
He would just have me like catching snaps, and then the linemen would just run at me, and like they wouldn't stop sometimes. Like I was just like, all right. Like there are people in the NFL who would like run at me, like Ade Aruna. Like
Oh my
he
God.
like ran at me and
On that
like
beautiful
pleaded me
field.
one time, and I was like,
Oh my God.
all right, cool. Like
Well, you be alright, man.
you better like get to the league, man. Like if you don't get to the league, like this isn't gonna be worth it. Like you can't just be crazy and not get to the league. Like that's the thing. Like there was also Rob Kelly was from Tulane. He was very chill, but yeah, he had a tumultuous time at Tulane and then ended up in the pros. Yeah.
What, did you do any sports? Basketball talent or
Yeah.
golf?
Golf. I played basketball, football until 9th grade. Yeah, mostly basketball, run track a little bit. But
Ooh, what were your events?
100-meter dash. No, not the 100-meter, 400-meter dash. That's the one lap run.
Oh, wow.
Used to do that one. Yeah, that's about it, really. I used to try to do the high jump shit.
Oh, yeah, I could not bend my body that way. Or jump. Yeah. That's why I was a thrower.
Yeah, I wish they had lacrosse when I was in my school. I feel like I could have been good at that.
Lacrosse.
I wonder if lacrosse will ever take over.
You guys play sports?
I used to play soccer when I was a kid, but no. Then everything else, I was just like in theater or robotics. I was just a nerd. I was just building robots and with programmers and I wasn't doing a lot of the programming stuff, just the mechanical stuff. But yep, went to those competitions. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's fun. It's a sport.
Yeah.
It's a brain sport.
You meet pretty awesome, like, brilliant kids who are just able to, like, the programmers, ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure all those kids are rich.
They're, yeah. That's the hub. You know, when they had the burst with Microsoft and Bill Gates, like, that's where, like, every, nerd is coming out of the woodwork. Then you have Steve Jobs and whatever, but, like, their Silicon Valley is just, tech bros are huge. Like, it's just... It runs everything now. Amazon.
Wish that shit wasn't so boring.
Really? I can't. It's like Japanese. I tried Python. They taught us Java, but I never took a liking to it. I don't know. I
had a little phase when I thought I was gonna learn how to make fucking iPhone apps and shit. It's so tedious and I'll stick to.
Yeah, the most tedious thing I could do is probably just video editing.
Yeah.
I do know how to edit websites. If anybody wants to employ me as a website editor.
Development.
I do know how to use Squarespace and then embed other things.
You know how to do a lot of editing across many platforms, though.
I read a lot, but I was very high, so I don't know how much of it stuck. My brother actually took it seriously, and he does cybersecurity shit now. But yeah. He has more patience. I just have no patience anymore.
If I could just get become a hacker good enough to steal a little bit of money from all the rich people, you know what I mean? I think there's definitely people that just live off of stealing out of bank accounts and.
Oh yeah, they're Bitcoin hackers
mining,
now.
Yeah.
Crypto hackers.
Of course, that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's a digital...
Do you have crypto?
I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but $100.
You're not salivating over the Dogecoin on that.
That dude who has $1 million or whatever.
All my friends keep talking about it.
I don't have it. I'm not in that.
I don't have the capacity. It's too much.
Yeah. I tried at times to do stuff more hardcore. And it just doesn't
make sense.
It's sad. Because, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Which, I guess it is easy sometimes. If somebody does it for you, it's easy. You need rich friends to do it for you. And just be hey, here's a Bitcoin. It's going to be worth a bunch of money down the road, and you just keep it.
You just need investors. You can have any idea, and as long as you have the means and resources to execute it, and you have people funneling money in, that's it. That's all you need. It's always just money. You don't need I don't know. It's because people rubbed elbows with other people in that community, so they have, other people. Which also, that's my thing, because we started watching a show, what was it called, where it was about G-Coin or something, and started, it's basically oh my god, this is how, as if Bitcoin would, how it started and rose up or whatever, but that show just makes me think curiosity as far as Bitcoin, any of these other cryptocurrencies, are connected with mobs or mafias or how many people have stake in that, and they can, because they have a lot of, that's money laundering or a way for them to
Well, that's what it is. It's just like fancy money laundering. Because like if you just have somebody who's your guy, and like you could just pay them to do the Bitcoin thing, and you give them the cash, then it's like you have that, and you don't need an identity. You just need
I also the thing that you don't.
thing.
It's not. It's no. The government's not involved. That's also where you can be anybody and free and like be able to freely use it and. But I don't know. There's just too many things that are sketch for me. Like it's too sketch. I don't really trust it. I don't know. I don't know what it is that I don't trust necessarily, but I just don't like it. And then also, Elon Musk said Bitcoin.
What the fuck is it? I kind of don't. It's like, how are you? I don't understand mining for a Bitcoin. It's like you're creating.
It's creating a contract. So basically, if people are sending Bitcoin from one person to another, so one person has to have the Bitcoin in the first place, or whatever the coin is, and they're sending it to another person, and then there is usually somebody who, in order to make that transaction, they have to code everything and make the contract, and they get paid, so they mine their own.
What's
Bitcoin.
the documentary you suggested to me that's like really, you should probably
just like
watch
anything
it
you can watch about Satoshi is really interesting, but
yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
The mystery.
Wait,
no, but on what? There was one specifically on Netflix?
Wait, he doesn't have an identity?
Yeah, he does not have an identity.
Yeah.
He is a mystery. He might be a collective of people. He might be Elon Musk. Like, people really don't
It's
know
like the
who
same
he
shit
is.
as QAnon. But that's actually a person, because we watched a documentary and they actually found out who it was, but whatever. It's just like that shit where like people come up with their own godlike figures to like run these mysterious, organizations. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they know where he's, or they don't know, wait, they don't know if it's a person, like that documentary didn't answer it, if it's a person or a group?
No, they don't really know. Yeah, it's a mystery. But it's a very fascinating mystery. There's definitely going to be tons of documentaries made about Satoshi.
But they don't know where that person or people are located? Like, they can't trace...
Yeah,
like,
it could be a collective. Like, they don't even know. Yeah, it's very extensive. All I would say is, like, I think it is good to have a bunch of cryptocurrencies, but if there's too many, then it's just gonna fuck it up for everyone, probably.
That's what I
because
feel like
people are just gonna blow so much money that it just creates such a collapse, because everybody's gonna default on their mortgages because you can't pay your mortgages with Bitcoin, and you can't pay your car payments with Bitcoin. Yeah, so that's just what I hope doesn't happen. But then if you avoid that, the only way to avoid that is only letting rich people get into Bitcoin. And then if only rich people get into it, then it's just going to be the rich people's gold. And then it's like, why the fuck do we have this? So, I don't know. That is the cool thing about being in like a place like Brooklyn, because you're listening to people in bars and coffee shops talking about shit that's new. Like, you could run into somebody who is working on the new thing and you can get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
And like, that's how you do like make massive investments, is by being in when something's not valued high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you get something when it's already valued high, then you're just wasting your money, basically. Yeah. That's like with cars for sure. Like, they're about to say my car is trashed, even though it's running fine.
Is old.
But they're just like, oh, it's 12 years old. Like, your car is only worth like $100. Like, where the fuck? Like, it's still drivable right now, but like, yep, it's totaled now. What do you mean it's totaled? Like, I just won't fix it, and then I'll drive it until it breaks. Like, it's not totaled. It'll be totaled in 3 years. Tell me it's totaled then.
I have to ask if there's any you want to add on this list before... How are we with time? Sorry, I lost
we went super long. No, we're not that long.
If you wanted to add any rappers to your list before we close out this episode. Or anything else you would also like to...
Rappers from Long Island.
You got 7.
I like ending on that number.
Cool.
Nice.
It's a good number. It's not the worst, it's not the best.
Anything you'd like to leave the listeners with? We'll drop all your info in the description, the bio, obviously, of the episodes, but anything...
You're an Instagram guy.
Yeah.
Instagram at Talent Harris, Twitter Talent Harris, talentharris.com.
IG and the Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on Talent.
This is a very chill episode.
This was amazing. Yeah, this was really great. Thank you for welcoming us in. Like, we want to stay like 3 more hours. Like, it's turning into a Joe
very
Rogan
relaxing.
episode.
I don't know. It's just very relaxing.
Hey, let's watch some Michael Che.
We can have a conversation. All right. Well, it's been Sessions with Mary Jane.
If you want to catch us, we're going to be at
Players
Theater, second Friday of the month.
June 11th at 9:30 is the next one coming up.
And then...
For interdimensional improv show.
Yeah.
And then possibly
Other
variety
stuff,
shows.
maybe.
Circuit breaks coming. Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
too high, though. I don't know.
Maybe coming back. Also, another short film released after the maybe next month.